What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike. She's Wendy, and you're in the marriage shop. Welcome. It is Monday again, the first Monday in November, which kind of has me messed up right now.
Why does it have you messed up?
First of all, I basically missed all of October. You
Yes.
know, I don't know if you heard we had a hurricane,
Yes, we
like
all
a
kind of
whole
missed most of
hurricane.
October.
So missed October,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get back right,
Mm-hmm.
and then got back right. Then that cold hit
Oh my goodness.
off. So
Yes.
that kind of finished off October, and now
Agree.
it's like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, almost. Almost. Halloween is done.
Halloween is
Halloween is done. Hey,
yes, it
Donna
is.
Fuller. We are
Donna
so
Fuller,
glad you're in
what's
here
up?
joining us tonight. It was
Hey,
so good to see you yesterday with your beautiful self. Andrea Lewis, thanks for jumping in here pretty early
hey,
with us tonight.
hello.
We're always glad when you guys join us. And Tammy Shepard, I owe you lunch. We need to get together sometime soon. Let me know. I'm going to be gone this week, but I'll be back next week. So let me know what's going to work for you. So, yeah,
Oh,
there's that.
I was like, you're gone this week?
I am.
Ah, man, I forgot that
Oh,
quick.
oh.
That's sad.
It's all good. It's all good. So
I'll
yeah,
try to
so
make it.
you'll try to make it.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's your first time joining us in the marriage shop, it's just us, and we sit here and we just chit chat about stuff.
Chit chat. I think.
We don't chit chat.
No, chit chat is that undervalues the power of what we trying to say up in here.
We
Chit chat.
doing a little kiki.
No, Mike don't kiki.
My tongue kiki.
What we talking
Okay,
about?
what are we talking about? Yeah. So it's all good.
Uh
So
huh.
yeah, yeah. So you were
Um,
saying.
I don't know what I was saying, but
You said
other
October
than Mike,
flew by and it's almost Thanksgiving.
yes, almost Thanksgiving. I mean, Halloween thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really know what to expect this year. I'm not really a one to pass out candy. I'm like whatever. Go buy your own candy. Get a job, kid.
Wow.
I was gonna put on a suit and pass out letters. Get a job. That is all.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, but
We talked about handing them tree branches and saying, "Do your part."
right.
help,
put
help us clean
put
up
this on that
Augusta.
pile over there. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And a
but
piece of fruit.
I am the one
Yeah.
because we were raised that way. My mother would always let us dress up. We
Mm-hmm.
would always get excited about Halloween, and I know that a lot of the saints don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
endorse it, and so we're not endorsing it. But I'm just saying, I really do enjoy connecting with the community. It's about allowing these children in our neighborhood to see that we're nice people.
Man, I don't want them to see that I'm a nice person. In fact, I want them to think that I'm a bit of an ogre, right? Because I grow grass in the wintertime, and
Mm-hmm.
it just so happens that October 31st hits right around the time my grass is trying to come in,
Oh my
whatever. So I sound
goodness.
like a crabby old man. So what?
Oh my
They
goodness.
come running, and we were actually at the end of our driveway. We saved them a walk. You know what I mean?
We did. We
We're
did.
at the end of our
It was
driveway.
good. And our neighbors, we were out there with our neighbors to the right, and then
Yeah,
our neighbor across the street came over
yeah,
and joined us. It was fun.
right. And
It was
these
fun.
clowns were running up the yard anyway. The light's not on, people.
That's so
Wake up.
funny.
Like
And that
the light is the signal, is it not?
it was fun. It was
It
fun.
was fun. It was all
And
right.
there were some cute little kids that came around. A
I'm
lot of
sorry.
older kids,
And
and
I'm sorry if your kids were among those.
I threw
Your
some
kids aren't
toys in there this year.
clowns.
That was different.
What the
The
toys?
toys.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
different.
that was a
But
hit. So,
what?
Sarah Peoples Perry, thank you for being
Hey,
here. And Robert Harrell, thank you for being here as well.
you know what's going on, y'all? The thing that threw me the most
Hmm.
for during the night of Halloween is when we moved to the area, it blew my mind that you could put a bowl on the porch
Oh,
and
yeah.
put a note like, "Hey, take one." And kids, and we'd observe kids just like taking a piece of candy and rolling out. Um,
These kids are so sweet.
most, most, and so this time though, crazy. Wendy is like, we got the bowl right there, and was like, "Take all you want," right? And these kids get in there and be like, and then they be like, boom, It'd be like, grab one of these, like one,
Yes.
drop it in the bucket, ride on out.
Yeah. Except for the two teenage boys that came after we had packed up.
Right,
And I
but
was like, okay, come with me, follow me up the
right,
driveway.
yeah.
And then they only took a few. And I said, take a whole handful. And they were
Well,
like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I don't want to keep this candy.
I think the handful thing. There's just one little crew that was like, oh, bet, rah.
Yeah,
But
they were in it. It was fun. It was
yeah.
fun.
So I'm all about, hey, give it all away quick so we can get on, get up out of here.
Yeah.
So,
Maria Meitzner, thank
hey,
you for being here. And
what's up?
Dana Stokes. It's always a pleasure when you
Hey,
jump in the
Dana.
shop and join us.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
so,
for real, y'all, this is, I mean, kids running out like, yay.
yeah, well,
Got
you know
one.
what was a hit that was
Crazy.
unexpected was the Krabby Patties.
The Krabby Patties, which
Krabby Patties. They were searching it anyway, and they were
Uh-huh.
okay. I tested everything. They were okay.
all I'm saying is, y'all, stay off my grass.
Oh
That's
my
all I'm
goodness.
saying.
Well, we had a good time, and so that's over, and we're looking forward to Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and so that's going to be a good time
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the end of the year is here. It does go very quickly. I think the older you get, the faster it goes.
Well, I must be pretty old because it's fast
Yeah.
November. So,
But before we get there,
yeah.
tomorrow is election day.
Whew.
Woo!
Just in case you didn't know, in case you haven't cast your vote, my guess says that at least half the folks on this feed, if not more, have
Mhm.
already voted. Some people like to just, I think we might talk about it, they like to go on election day. It's just like, boom,
Yes.
there's a whole vibe. Matter of fact, we might just go and hang out at the polls for a little while tomorrow.
No, we won't.
Okay.
No, not doing that.
That seems
Not
like a
doing
really
that.
cool election day thing. Hit Dunkin' Donuts, get a
And just
sandwich,
watch.
cup of coffee, and just watch,
No,
shout people out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
no.
take a flag or something and
No, but it's a big day. It's a big
America.
day for all of us.
Yeah.
We hope that you voted. Certainly, everybody's voice should be heard,
Yeah.
and we encourage you to vote if you haven't. And hopefully, you've already registered to vote, and it's a non-issue.
And if you haven't, well, I guess there's some states that you register on the spot. I don't know what
Is
those
that
states
right?
are. Oh yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if by chance you are one of those people who just the mention of politics or anything political just kind of makes you bristle a little bit, make sure you go back and watch our marriage shop episode where we talked about when you and your spouse may be on different sides of the aisle. I thought that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good one. And so, oh,
Yeah.
hey. So Sarah says, I love going to the polls. It is a tradition started by my dad. Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
And I think I enjoyed, and we took pictures with the girls the first time we took them when they were
Yeah.
old enough to vote. And that's pretty cool. And Morgan is on it. She sent us a picture when she received her mail-in ballot
Mhm.
in New York several
Yeah.
weeks ago. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, going to the polls for us, I think because we live in a relatively what I consider a small-ish
Mhm.
community, whatever.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's going to the polls. It's just kind of like it's not quite like going to church, but it's almost like that. You know what I
Go
mean?
to church.
Just
In
go over
what
there
way?
like, hey, you just shouting out. You see people you know, you
Oh,
shout them out on the way
yeah.
in, on the way out. It's good.
It
Fun.
has we have had very very easy, nice.
Mm,
What's the word? It's just always been a good experience. Like
Yeah.
very good experiences. Voting here, and some of you that join us in the marriage shop are actually poll workers, and we
Mhm.
appreciate you so much.
Yep,
That's a tough job, and we appreciate the people here that do it.
for sure.
What is that?
That's one
Oh,
thing.
okay. So,
All right.
what are we talking about tonight?
Oh, tonight, you tell me. Seems like we're well. Let's. So typically, no, usually I don't do this, but for tonight, the matching clothes thing. I'm just like, what are
That's
we? What are
funny.
we? High school? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
every now and then.
Well,
Every now
I'll
and
just
then.
say this: neither one of our teams won yesterday, so
Mm,
we're not wearing any team colors today. We're not doing that, but we are dressed alike. And it's funny that you say that because we do have a few things alike.
we do.
We have a few, and more than dressing alike. I mean, well, let me just ask you guys, though, those of you that are on already, um, do you and your spouse dress alike? And if you do, when? So just drop it in the comments. And
Yeah.
Francis Anthony, thanks for joining us. It's always good when you
Yeah.
drop in.
You and your spouse, or you and your fiance. You know who you are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you do you and your fiance, you and your spouse, you and your long-term committed
I mean,
partner?
I was just gonna stop at fiance because after
Yeah.
that, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You need
But
go
do
ahead
you
commit.
dress alike? Do you wear the same
On your
things or similar? So Andrea, she said nope, but you look cute.
figure out. You're right. I can't figure the word out tonight.
But no, but you first look cute.
Is that first? Is that both? Is that guys?
You guys look cute.
Where,
Oh,
let me see. Where are the doggone? Let me get the keys. G. Okay, I can see that. F.
thank you.
I. Oh, the U is next to the I. I got
Yeah,
it.
we can see it.
All right. That's fine. I catch you some slack on that.
And so this whole thing about dressing alike, I think when I was growing up, we would dress alike if we went to King's Dominion, right? Friends, like we would wear something that was similar, or a family, like family reunion, everybody would get a similar T-shirt, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Sarah people
oh,
says, my spouse, yeah, that's my daddy.
no way.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
So-
Maria said, nope, I would match the color of his shirt, but that's about it. But even that, I mean, we have seen some people show up to events or even church, and they are like, I mean, they are matching, right? I mean, and if it's not the exact same shirt, like we're wearing the exact same shirt, they will have on the same colors for
Same
sure.
colors, same patterns,
Same
even
patterns,
maybe
same
different
colors.
pieces, different
Yes,
same
yes.
pieces, or different pieces, different same patterns.
And
but
it always gets your attention. It's like, okay.
It gets my attention. Hey, no shade on anybody who's matching up.
No
the
shade
patterns,
on anybody
but,
that's matching up.
It's not my thing.
But yeah, but people will sometimes dress alike. I mean, I think it's kind of cute. I mean, and without question, you know that they're together. I think that's the whole point. So,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, but it's an interesting thing as far just the physical appearance. But I think tonight we're kind of maybe going a little bit even further than that, just in
Yes.
terms of being married and being together for a long time, and what that ultimately does in terms of how you literally look, how you sound, how you speak, all these
Yes,
things,
Yeah.
and maybe even how you think
Ah.
and how you live.
That's
Right.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we've had people tell us for years that we look alike, and we don't look alike, but we do. I think we do sometimes have similar mannerisms. It just depends. It just depends, but we don't look alike. I mean, we have a similar complexion, which wasn't always the
Which
case.
it wasn't always the case. It's crazy.
And
but-
then when we're both smiling, we look more alike. But we are not related, just in case. I mean, we live in Georgia, so you had to clarify. We are not related other than being
Georgia
married to
people,
each other.
we love you, Georgia.
Yes,
Stop.
but other than being married to each other.
But
yes.
yeah, even our skin tone, it's crazy how complexion has just kind of and that makes sense, I guess.
Yes.
Since we are together almost everywhere. Go to the same places, live in the same place. Our exposure to the sun or to whatever, it's like
The same.
identical. So over the years, it's weird. We've just kind of averaged out. It's weird.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that can happen. And,
Yeah.
and those little things. The funny thing about this is that you're not really paying attention, and it just happens. You just look up. Like, we took pictures years ago when we were in Korea, our first year of being married. We took some pictures, and then we were looking at pictures like years later going through, and I was like, man, look, our heads got fat.
Our heads. How does your head size change? But seemingly it
Literally.
does. What? It changed
It's
together.
crazy. But you
Which-
change together. So you brought up sun exposure. So if you live you live together, you're in the same climate, you're in the same region. Dialects, regional dialects people tend to have the same, so they may sound alike or use the same types of words. What we saw on TV, which kind of sparked this for me, was this idea that married couples not only start to look alike, but they mimic each other's movements or different things. It's a way of nonverbal communication. But it's the other thing about life experiences together.
Hmm.
So often, when you have those big milestone moments like buying your first house or having your first baby or getting a dog, or on the other side of those are all happy things or tragic things like even this hurricane, going through things that are difficult, a death in the family, a death of a pet, all those things, we experience those things together. So
Hmm.
the number of wrinkles that we have and how we experience them. Like if we are having, I said earlier, if we were having like an all night knockdown drag out discussion,
Yeah. Mm.
then the
Anybody ever
next
had those
day
all night discussions?
discussions, the next day we both look like we've been through
And you
something.
can't even fake it.
No, you can't.
It's
This
just
look
like
like we've been through something. It's like the walking wounded or something. I
that's
don't
funny.
know.
And those people who are either real close to you or just like painfully honest, be like,
Hmm.
"Hey,
Yeah.
you good, bro?
You good, right? You
you
look
look,
like you haven't had any
you
sleep. You
looking
look
tired."
tired. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's those things that I didn't really even consider. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, this whole idea of the longer that you're together, the more shared experiences you have, the more you will tend to look alike. So will you look exactly alike? No, probably not. I mean, most of us won't look
Mhm.
exactly alike, but there will be some similarities.
But yeah, I think the really powerful similarity
Hmm.
is when you begin to sound alike. Like
Mm,
oftentimes people will, maybe they might go to you or maybe me first. It just kind of depends, right?
yeah.
Maybe they're looking for some guidance, some wisdom, some kind of word about something. Like, tell me what you think
Hmm.
about my situation. And so,
Yes.
I get going and somebody will be like, huh, what is that?
It's about to rain.
Oh, I'm like, I get going and somebody will be like, man, that's exactly what your wife said.
Oh, yeah, that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
That happens quite a bit. Even in our advice to our children, when we
Hmm.
talk to them separately about the same issue,
Yeah.
a lot of what we share with them is exactly the same, almost word for word sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Justice Smith, where you
Hey,
been?
where you been,
Where
man?
you been? Yeah, so we're glad you're here. So yeah,
Good to
but this
see.
whole idea of, I mean, matching your vibe or
Hmm.
matching your energy. Like I love to see all these different posts where people are like, I'm just gonna match your energy. One thing that I saw said, I match energy. So how we gonna act today?
And yeah, that's funny. Now, I was just thinking about the matching energy conversation that we had this
Hmm.
morning. I'm like, you wanna know what my energy is? Okay.
Yeah,
But
that's funny. It's not hard to know.
I'm funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but matching energy, that
Hmm.
whole thing, like, I've seen posts where people say, does your spouse, does your spouse match your vibe or match your energy? And then people would demonstrate how,
Hmm.
like maybe I like to dance, you like to dance. Some of the things that attracted us to each other
Hmm.
were the similarities,
Yes.
but also the differences. And so often in the marriage shop, for the years that we've been here, we have pointed out that you're two different people coming from two different backgrounds with
Mm.
two different sets of expectations.
Hmm.
We always point out the differences,
Yeah.
but we haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about the similarities.
Yeah. Well, you know, some days I like match your energy. Some days match your energy. It's like it can be problematic depending on where said energy is manifesting itself. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Because it's like y'all, Wendy. Oh, it's if it's funny, it's very much like my family members in general.
Uh,
It's interesting. I found Wendy right because it's like if it's funny, she just don't care. It's like wherever it is, funny is funny. So she gonna let it rip most of the time. And so
sometimes,
okay, you know
sometimes.
what? This is that's a different. We're not here to argue that point. So that's
But it
just
is funny. I
that's
mean,
just
and
true.
I'll
And so
try to hold on to it, but you try not to look at me
right,
because if you look at me, then we both end up
exactly. That's some real energy matching right there. And it's just like, no,
the
this is
shoulders
inappropriate.
get going.
And then I can't. I've lost the ability. I used to be able to kind of let it out smooth, but I've lost that ability now. So it's always going to be, it's going to be some kind of sound as that laughter breaks out. So I can't look at you. No, I can't really.
That's kind of funny.
I can't even I actually have to kind of squint or turn this way. So I see no movement, no shaking, no nothing.
Yeah. But things, and so you become so similar, in fact, that even what you eat, where you eat, what you eat, when you eat, your schedules line up in some ways, right?
Yep. Those weight fluctuations.
Yes, yes.
Matching weight fluctuations.
So,
it's crazy.
for us, I think the biggest change in our weight and how we eat and all that happened during the pandemic. I mean, that was really, I think, the first time that we were kind of in agreement that we were going to do something together. Now, we had practice, though, because every year, depending on which church we were at, they would do like either a Daniel fast or a fast or 40 days of fasting at the beginning of the year to just kind of set the tone for the year.
Nobody fasted like Celebration Church in
goodness.
Columbia, Maryland. Goodness.
Let me tell you.
That's another story.
And
anyway,
so that was kind of we had to come into agreement, corporate agreement, and then we had to come into agreement within our household,
Yes. Yeah. Which can be profoundly challenging. We're talking about kind of matching energy, but sometimes you want your spouse to kind of be with you, whatever you're doing.
Yes.
And it can be a challenge if you're not in that same place at the same time.
Yes.
Because it's a lot easier. It makes some things when you're trying to, some challenges, it makes them a lot easier if you're going through them together.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case.
That's not always the case. So if you're trying to diet or lose weight, it's not helpful if your spouse is not trying to get on that diet or trying to honor the things that you're trying to do. For example, I have a problem with almond M&Ms. And I had to say, and years ago it was a problem with cookies. I mean, I know that I lack willpower in certain areas, and the only thing I can do is to put them out of either where I can reach them or just out of sight. If I see them or they are readily accessible, I'm gonna eat them. It's like I can't help myself. If I want a snack, I go in there and I'll eat them. And I told you, and I was like, okay, I have a problem. I can't stop eating these M&Ms. And what did you do? You bought some M&Ms.
I did, because I didn't know you were being serious. I mean, I just thought you were just talking. And I come in there, it's like, man, I'm about to get me some of these almond M&Ms. Gonna be great. There's like 3 M&Ms left in the bag. I'm like, what is going on?
Right, and you looking at me, you like, these seem kind of light. And I'm
3.
thinking, you know what? I need you to work with me. But, it's hard to do. It is really hard to do. And, we are different, though. So even if we are on the same diet, we don't have the same results it's just never the same. I mean, it's like I could, I love that commercial years ago. It was like they were on the same diet or whatever. The husband and the dog got skinny and the wife got bigger. And I was like, exactly. That's exactly it. But during the pandemic, we, with encouragement from our niece Ashley, we actually
shout out Ashley Key.
Yeah, she's in here sometimes.
Yeah.
But she had us really looking at what we eat, and we watched The Health, and we watched something else on Netflix, and so we were like, you know what, we're gonna do better, and so we cut out we cut out red meats, we cut out chicken, we cut out anything that wasn't turkey.
Yeah, literally.
We were almost pescatarian.
Steve Thompson?
Stephen Thompson.
Oh, you're right on time.
You said,
Steve.
why leave 3 M&Ms?
Exactly.
It wasn't 3. It wasn't 3.
If it wasn't 3, it was 4. No exaggeration. That bag was like, it was light. But
it's
we
because
right
he
on
walked
time
in before I could finish.
Steve is a fellow bacon lover who is, probably hadn't had a slice of bacon in a minute, unless something's changed. But yeah. But we cut out everything that was not turkey.
Right. So it was interesting because during the pandemic,
and some shrimp.
Shrimp was what we were eating.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were eating shrimp. We were almost pescatarians. It was like seafood and turkey. What you prefer? What?
I prefer to avoid the labels.
Oh, well, anyway, but we did really well. And so what happened was during the pandemic, a lot of people gained weight. Like, they came out of quarantine looking like they had there was no shortage of food.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. And
And there wasn't. I saw him at Kroger with my mask on and my
yeah,
gloves.
we kind of maintained our weight and dropped a little weight, but that was the first time and that was we had been married in 2020. How long have we been married?
Since 98,
Yeah, I know, but how many years is that? Well, in almost 20
22.
years, that was the first time.
22.
That was the first time. Oh, he says 4 years bacon free.
Come on.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Good job.
Yeah.
And so, but that was the first
But-
time, literally almost 20 years into our marriage, that we came into agreement and did something like together like that. Justice says that's a word. I had an era where it was strictly black beans, avocado, baked chicken, salads, and turkey. Yeah,
I can make it work with
yeah,
that.
we could. That sounds like a meal.
Matter of fact, I just realized I am so hungry like right now.
We are hungry. We
And
are
so
hungry.
Typically on Mondays after we leave here,
Yeah.
we run. There's a spot down the street, a Mexican spot we hit. We go in there tonight.
We going
Anyway,
there tonight. Okay.
anywho, yeah, but the that change that we made,
Yes.
it was because we were on the same sheet at the same time,
Yes.
right? It's kind of like y'all like congratulate Wendy or congratulate. I don't know. Shout her out. Listen, we've been off and on with our gym membership for years. Probably more. Well, no. Let me be honest. More off than on, right?
Yes.
And there have been many times where we tried to kind of jumpstart things and try to do that workout thing together.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
Right.
Until like recently. So now I think we in month 3 going strong
Yeah.
consistently.
We've been consistently going to the
And,
gym. And I think the key to that is we go to the gym. There are a couple of things that we do together, but for the most part, we are doing our own things, right? And
Yes.
so we're there, give you a kiss, and I'll see you in a few minutes,
Yeah.
versus trying to really kind of force the fit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's been fun. I think
You
it's been
think you
fun.
say fun.
It's hard getting up
'Cause-
early because, like, when I told my sister about it, she was like, "Well, why y'all got to go so early? Why can't you go at 10?" And I was like,
ooh,
"I know.
Oh no.
That's how I feel about it.
It ain't early. Well, it's a compromised time. I'll say that.
It's a compromised time." And
So-
the whole point, though, is that I knew that it was something that you wanted to do, and you were committed to doing it, and you started going first. And I had to make the decision and make up my mind to join you. And so we're going strong, and it's been great. But working out together and being on a fitness journey or on a diet journey are two of the most difficult things to do together as husband and wife, I think.
Yes, because if you all those things we're talking about battling against your body, your flesh, right? Your nature. And the nature is I want to eat what I want to eat.
When I want to eat it.
When I want to eat it. I don't feel like going in here today. I don't want to like exert. I don't want to feel pain. I don't want to feel discomfort.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a constant battle of that. But I think that battle is indicative of just kind of our battle as human beings, right? Battling against our sin nature in relationship with another person.
Yes.
Right. And so every day we have to die to ourselves.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Like many times a day. And so I think that to some extent that discipline or that practice of dying to yourself, like in all these little ways,
Yeah.
I think it can help your marriage in some really big ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense because when we were dating, before we got married,
I was gonna bring this up.
3 months before we got married, it was New Year's Eve, and we were fasting. Mike had asked me to fast because his church was fasting, and we were fasting, and I was like, I'm gonna do this with you, and his dad sent us some homemade cinnamon rolls. Oh my goodness!
Thanks a lot, Clarence.
And so the cinnamon rolls were in the kitchen, and I was trying so hard to make it to midnight. And I promise you, it was probably like 11:58 and 15 seconds. And I could not make it to midnight. I went down in the kitchen and I had to eat the cinnamon roll.
And
I
then
thought we were not going to get married.
And there's the smell of cinnamon roll in the air, and it sounds.
Oh, it was so good. That
It
was
was.
absolutely the best cinnamon roll I've ever had in my life.
Oh boy.
But the point was, we had made an agreement, and I couldn't follow through, I felt bad about it somewhat, but it didn't seem egregious. It was just kind of like, this is just a little thing, but it's actually really a bigger thing,
I
right?
Man, I was so
You were
upset,
mad.
but because we're kind of deep into the to the fast at that point, and if you ever fasted, right, and honestly, I was. I mean, I don't know how mature I am right now, but quite immature back then at the age of what 26 or so,
Yeah.
and like I didn't fully know what to do with all the things physically and mentally that are happening while you're fasting. And
Mm-hmm.
so like just staying in that place, it was so hard. And so to have that cinnamon roll in that space
Oh.
at the time, oh, I was hot. Hot.
Woo.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
but hey,
Yeah.
we made it past that, and
We
you can
made
make it
it.
past it too.
Yes, you can.
You can.
You can.
So Stephen Thompson says, "What do you do when eating is your coping
Yeah.
mechanism and crisis strikes during your journey?" Yes,
Oh,
that is so real because here's another difference between us that I learned later
mhm.
because Mike and his family have what they call comfort food.
Happy.
Happy food.
I
Okay,
mean,
so it's known as
that's what
comfort
my
food.
mom called it back in the day. Yes,
Okay,
it's
so
comfort
tell us
food.
about the happy food.
Nothing. It was just, it was all those things you might expect. It was cookies. It was mac and cheese, or
Mm-hmm.
mac and cheese with the like ham or spam diced up in
Oh
there.
goodness.
Or is that a good thing? Or is
Yeah,
that a
no, it
good?
sounds good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was great.
Yeah.
And so just all kind of things like that. And there was this new dessert that had come out at the time. I forget who made it, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just if it was sweet or decadent or what's the other word? Sweet, savory,
Yes.
happy food.
Happy
And
foods.
typically,
Oh, fry basket.
oh snap, the fry Andrea, I forgot all about the fry basket, yo. Oh boy,
Oh, okay. So you can
that
keep going
you
with that.
you feel it? The
Anita
happy.
Gonzalez Willis, thanks for joining us.
Anyway,
And my cousin is on here, Monica. Congratulations, Monica Butler Thomas, on getting married. I saw that you
hey,
got married
congratulations.
recently. So thank you for joining us in the marriage shop. So
So,
tell me about the fry basket.
so the fry basket, it was just a place you could get for like I don't know $3. You get all like fried shrimp and hush puppies and like some kind of fish. It was like all this like combos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most yeah, the fry
Oh, it was a
basket.
place.
It was a restaurant.
Oh, I thought it was an item.
Oh no.
But that's how you grew up. And so
Yeah.
this whole idea of happy food
Yep.
and or as people have come to know, comfort foods, this
Hmm.
whole, it is a way of life.
It is a way of life, and so the question is, when eating is a coping mechanism, what do
Hmm.
you do? Because
Yeah,
for me, like eating is very much can be a coping mechanism, right?
definitely.
And so and when I was younger, I would literally say, well, look, if I keep running, I will outrun all this food. So I'm gonna eat what I want.
Ah,
I would go, and I mean, when I was an active duty army,
mm-hmm,
it was nothing for me to go into the dining hall and get literally everything on the breakfast because you pay like a flat rate. I
mm-hmm,
get everything on the menu. I
mm-hmm.
mean, like 2 trays,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and then I go run up to Burger King. I would hit Burger King. I'd be done with my combo before I got back to my office. My
Wow.
office was like 3 minutes away. Okay, maybe five if I go slow.
That's a lot.
I could finish before I got back. So yeah, eating,
Yeah.
coping, and so
And Andrea said it was during a difficult time.
it was, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
okay,
And so
okay.
so I think my mom would do that. It's like, yeah, we need to infuse some happiness in here, right? We need to infuse
Yes.
something that makes us feel good. And my mom was when she got some really good food, it'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so and Steve said, I
Yeah.
exercise like yeah, exactly, right? But then that metabolism, like do, and
Mm-hmm.
then you sit down, you're like, what is this?
Yes.
What is this right here on my stomach? Oh, that is my stomach. And so
That's funny.
you got to do something different. But
Mm-hmm.
to answer the question though, I think there's a couple things that are important when you're trying to like change patterns that have existed like that
Yeah.
for years, decades in your life. And part of it is like having somebody with you who understands the journey and is trying to help you walk it or trying to
Yes.
understand it
Yes.
and trying to help you walk it, right?
Or,
So,
and even supporting you, because
right.
even if I'm not doing what you're doing, I
Hmm.
shouldn't be working against you. So just like
Yeah.
with the cinnamon roll, right? Um,
I,
that was working against you, because I mean, I didn't have to have it, but even if I, in my moment of weakness, I mean, it's one of those things. But I think that a lot of people will say they're trying to diet or they're trying to eat healthy, but their spouse is like, I'm not doing that.
yeah. And so, by the way, I'm very touched in this moment because at the time we had that incident, I call it,
Yes.
like, you're like, I'm not trying to work against you. I'm like, but it's like you working against me right now, right? So
Yes.
till you say it out loud right now, it's just like, I think it's validating.
I
So
recognize that I was working
yeah,
against you, but
so
it was not my
I
intent.
understand. Yeah, I understand. but you're right. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times people will. This happens all the time, and the likelihood with the people watching here, it's
Hmm.
happened in somebody's life where you're trying to make some change. Your spouse is like, "No, I'm good the way it is, right? The
Yes.
way I am, the way things are, I'm good. So
Right.
no, I'm not coming along with you on that."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you know how profoundly difficult that is.
It
Like,
makes it really hard.
yep,
It makes it almost twice as hard, I
yep,
think, because it's not that and again, it's separating emotion from action, right?
mm-hmm,
It's not that you are intentionally working against the other person. It's just that, hey, I want to make the decision for myself when I'm ready. And often that level of readiness is just not equal.
yeah,
So, we're trying to help you if
yeah,
if this is a struggle for you, or it's been a struggle for you, having that communication and the understanding of it. It's about compromise in
mm-hmm.
some cases, right? It's about compromise. What
Yeah, no, and I
I
just
can't
need. I
say.
want to get to the.
Oh,
I want to make sure I finish addressing that particular question because the
yes,
support is part of it,
yes,
but part of it is the environment that you set up.
mm-hmm.
What do you buy? Like, at times when we've said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to change it all up."
Yep,
Everything does not fit into certain parameters, it goes in the
mm-hmm.
trash.
Mm-hmm.
And and I know people like, man, because we were talking about how we grew up back in the day,
Yeah,
and it's like food so hard, so much work went into obtaining this food. Like, not only are you gonna eat it, but you're gonna eat it all.
every bit of every morsel on your
Right,
plate
right.
needs to be gone.
And so it becomes
Clean your
about
plate.
it becomes about appreciating the value of food versus changing things in a way that's gonna help you
Mm-hmm.
in your lifestyle, in your health and your fitness, right? So
Yes.
if it doesn't fit, it's gone. In fact, there's sometimes when I will get a package of cookies or something because
Mm-hmm.
I have a cookie problem, right?
Yes, you're a cookie monster.
It's crazy. And so, but I'll go through several, and I'm like, you know what? I got to be done. It's trash,
It's true.
right? And so, I think you have to create an environment where it's not, because Wendy even alluded to it earlier. If I take that same pack of M&Ms and M's and put it
Mm-hmm.
up in the closet and behind another bag of something, out of
Mm-hmm.
sight, out of mind, it's not, when it's not an option in those
Yes.
moments when you are trying to cope,
Yeah.
then that thing you always grab can't be within arm's reach,
Right.
right? So
Out
you
of
set up your
sight, out
environment
of
to
reach,
protect you.
not in the house. Like
Yeah.
when like a couple of years when we first started doing a food fast, because fasting is not just about food, but when
Hmm.
we were doing a food fast, we went through and we actually threw out everything that had sugar in it. Because it
Yeah.
wasn't even about not choosing those things. We just got rid of it.
And you know how everything has sugar.
Everything has sugar or soy. That's
Or so
another
it's
this. Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. And so
Yeah.
and the cupboard was light up in there.
It
I'm like,
was
wow.
there.
And
Shonda
so
Edwards Pittman, thanks for joining
yeah.
us. And Shelly Wilson, I think that's funny. She said you were holding on to that for 26 years.
That's
27.
that's funny. I wasn't holding on to it, but
It was in
I
there.
saw it and I'm like, oh, let me pick this back up and
That's
yeah.
funny. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So that's Steve said he's not I'm not doing that spouse.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
it's hard because it is sometimes we don't explain why we're doing it. Right? It's
mhm,
not just I just woke up and this was something that I wanted to do. And so now I want you to join me in it. I
mhm,
mean, sometimes there's a lot of thought. Sometimes there are health reasons.
yeah.
Sometimes there are things that occur in a person's life or age or season. And they're just like, this is something that I want to do.
Yeah.
I think the most loving thing that you can do is be supportive. More than that is joining them in the journey, on the journey. But if you can't join them on the journey because you have health reasons that you can't do it, then don't work against them. So that's the other step, right? So
You know what? I
what?
want to, you know,
It's
and
true.
I appreciate what you said, but let's be real about it. Most of y'all who are not joining them on the journey, it's not because of your health
Mm-hmm.
reasons. Most of y'all
Mm-hmm.
are joining them because it's just like, no, I love my bacon. I'm not giving it up.
That's
I
true.
love my ribs, not giving it up,
That's
right?
so funny.
That's I mean that's the real of it.
Yeah. Hey, Anna, thank you for sharing that. She says, I can say switching to plant based eating was easier during the pandemic. I tried prior to that and failed each time. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it kind of sometimes it takes like a monumental
Mm-hmm.
shift in order for us to do something different. And
Yeah.
so Steve says, see, I got to move to the country parts of Georgia like y'all. Philly and the poppy stores make everything so accessible. That
Hey,
is so true.
well, oh, actually that brings me to point number three. So I said
Yes.
support, and I said like
Mm-hmm.
taking things out of arm's reach.
Yes.
Once a particular urge hits you,
Mm-hmm.
if you're able, and this principle kind of applies to a lot of things, certainly like some addictive behaviors and things like that.
Yes.
Once that urge hits, and the urge will hit because A, maybe I'm in crisis. B, maybe it's a time of day or a certain place or a certain thing where
Mm-hmm.
this is just what I do here. Like when I go to a carnival, boom,
Mm. Funnel
man,
cakes.
funnel case. That stuff is wafting through the air. And so if I can simply like win the moment, don't try to win your whole life.
That's good.
Win the moment,
Win the moment.
and you will find that urge, you win that little battle, the urge dissipates, and you can move on for that
Mm-hmm.
moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so a lot of times people when it hits, it's just like, man, oh gosh, I just want a cookie so bad. I'm never gonna have another cookie in my whole life, right?
That's what it feels like.
It's what it feels like, but we ain't worried about your whole life. Worry about this moment right here,
Yes.
right? And if you can win that moment, trust me when I tell you, it's like, I oftentimes when I go into, I work over on Fort Eisenhower, and I go into this building, and they have by far the best chocolate chip cookies this side of the Mississippi.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I don't even know what they're doing in there,
Mm-mm.
but these chocolate, man, so I used to go in there and I'm fiending. I'm peeking my head in the door.
Yeah.
Y'all got those cookies? Got them
Yeah.
cookies? I got that money, right? And so what I started doing is
Mm-hmm.
like instead of taking that right turn and go to chocolate chip cookies, I'm like, no, let me go ahead take this left and handle my business and get on out of here, right? Just in that moment, don't turn right, go left, handle your business.
Yeah.
Then I just stopped taking money in. I stopped taking cash in. It makes it much more difficult. Woo, them some good cakes though, for real.
Yeah. I mean, and that's some really good practical advice. But I think the other thing is that if you happen to give in
Mm-hmm.
or you fall off or whatever, give yourself some grace. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that is kind of this we it's not all or none, but we
Mm-hmm.
treat it that way. So it's like, oh man, I broke the diet or I broke the fast or I broke the whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh well.
Yeah.
I may as well just go ahead and go in and enjoy it. But give
So
yourself some grace. I mean, for whatever the reason is that you decide to make a change, it doesn't necessarily have to be diet. It could be exercise. It could be any number of things. Changing your behavior is something that's very difficult to do. It's easier if you do it together. And
because
so,
the two of you are one.
because the two of you are one,
It's like,
but you're not the same.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And so, let me see. There was somebody. Oh, Byron Jackson said, "I don't buy bread, so it doesn't come into the house. Bread and cookies, and it used to be French fries. Woo, the enemy. It's the enemy. And some places we know where the best bread is. We know where
Oh,
to go. I mean,
that's
it's
why we haven't been back to
crazy.
Puerto Rico.
Oh my goodness.
The bread is ridiculous.
Wow.
I would get up in the morning
You could just smell
just to go to the bread shop
wafting.
and
Yes.
get like bread by the. It was crazy.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Anita says that's my husband. We will start together and I will keep it going, but my husband can come up with any excuse to cheat. It would be like day 2, LOL, but I always encourage him to try it again.
Mhm.
And that is so important because things change. People change over time. Try not to let this be a wedge between you. Try not to let it become something that causes tension. Try to have some grace and understanding as you try to journey together.
Yeah.
If it's a journey that you're not on together, just like we would hope both of you are Christ followers, but we know for sure that you're both sinners.
Oh, snap.
So there are
Yeah.
things that are similar and there
Yeah.
are things that are different. And so just like that, and on your individual journeys, the hope is that while you continue, whether the husband leads or it is the way that we decide to go, it is this is what we're trying to do, right? You have to pray about that thing. You have to commit. You have to come together and team up and talk about it. You
Yeah.
have to, there's so many things to do. Now, you were sick a couple of weeks ago. You had a
Hmm.
cold, and you were like, "Oh, day 3, I gotta go to the gym because it's been like 5 days." And
Yeah.
I'm like,
And I know me,
"It's too
like
soon.
day 5 is when it gets a little
It's too
precarious.
soon." But you went in there,
Yeah.
and I mean, I was proud of you, and I was like, "It still seems like it's too soon." And
Hmm.
so then I got sick because you brought whatever it was
I
home.
think, yeah, I think we established that. Yeah.
Yes,
So
and so then I was sick, and you were like, "You trying to go to the gym?" And I was like, "No," but
yeah.
I went, and then
Hmm.
and then I was like, "I regret." That I went. I
Hmm.
cannot go again. So I went that first time. The
Hmm.
second time, I was like, "No, I'm just gonna have to take a bye. I can't go.
Yeah.
I think it was too soon." But as soon as I was able and as soon as I was better, I was back in the gym. And
Yeah.
so, again, it's kind of a yes, you may have to take a detour. Maybe you might have to take a break. Maybe you might, eat the cookies or eat the bread or whatever else. Or you go somewhere and it's bread and cookies and chips and everything is just like, it's like Willy Wonka
Uh,
in the chocolate factory.
yeah, like the people in our neighborhood, they had like shelves of little Debbie, not like individual cakes. They had boxes,
Boxes of Little Debbie.
shelves upon shelf of little Debbie cakes. They're like, take two.
They posted it in the neighborhood chat.
Like y'all are trying to kill
Take
people out
two.
here.
Mm-mm-mm.
And if I was not 50, I'd have been up in there taking those boxes.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, next year I might put on a big suit, something that covers my face
that's so funny.
and be anyway.
But the thing about this is, so
Yeah.
I know we really kind of got on this diet thing because
Yeah.
diet and exercise are really hard to do. It's hard to commit as an individual, but it is really hard to do as a couple. But if you decide to get on that journey together, spend some time and talk about how you're going to approach it, what your goals are as you start out, and then understanding, what works, what is the best time of the day, what are the, things like that, so that you can set yourself up in the best possible circumstance. And then just again, if it doesn't work out or somebody falls off, forgiveness and grace is so important.
So it took me a lot of years to really kind of to get what you just said, right? Because there's a lot of things I've wanted to do. Like certainly, want to go to the gym and kind of work out. And we should go. Let's go together, and we gotta move because if we're gonna get old and we won't be able to do it, so we gotta
Yes.
move now. And
Yes.
we've not always been on the same sheet with that.
Right.
And so then impatience comes, right? And then maybe a little frustration might come. It's just like, man, forget it.
Yes.
And so I I know for certain, I don't know all of your situations, but I know that there's probably something that you've wanted to do, and it would be easier if your spouse would get on board and they haven't.
Yeah.
Try to extend some grace there. And quite frankly, if you've decided that it's something that you're supposed to be doing, right? Whether it's been laid on your heart, if you just know or whatever, because it's hard doesn't mean that your spouse is to blame if you fail to do it.
Mm. Wow. Say that again.
If there's something that you know you're supposed to be doing, the fact that it's hard doesn't mean that your spouse is to blame if you fail to do it.
Ah, that's good.
So, because listen, the whole gym thing, and when Wendy started kind of going here recently, I didn't really, it's like we chatted about it a little bit, but I wasn't really bugging her like I would have back in the day, right?
That's true.
And so it's like, yeah, we gotta, and so she just popped up one day, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, we said we're going to the gym, right? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, then let's ride. And so, and that was cool. So sometimes the timing doesn't exactly align, right, in the way that you might want it to,
Yes.
but don't allow that to then create tension in the house. And so what I've also learned on this most recent journey is that once you kind of get some momentum, it's easy because I can be very rigid. Would you say rigid? So it's like, no, can't miss a day. Got to be this time. Got to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I'm learning is, like I would love to be like leaving here 5:30 in the morning,
Mm.
right? That would in terms of how the day lays out, that would ideally like land, where I needed to for the
I
day,
would meet you there.
right? Now we would probably miss each other.
Yeah.
So it's been more like, it's been later than that, right?
Yeah.
It's maybe like 7.
You've compromised quite
And
a
so
bit.
it's
on
like,
that.
okay, fine. Or like, missing a day. Like,
Mhm.
I think even asked one day, like, you know what? I'm gonna take the day off.
Mhm.
Let's do that. There's a time when I would have never done that. No, we got to just stick with this thing, which then kind of takes a little bit of the joy out of it.
It does.
Yeah.
It takes the joy out of it. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that you said that, because if you can make it fun, if you can reward yourself, even like when we first started going, you were like, okay, so now we can go get breakfast. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a reward. The fact that there's an aqua massage thing, a hydro massage
Yeah.
room at the gym is my reward to myself after I work out. It
Right.
makes it all worth it.
And if I can't find you afterwards, I'm in the window like, oh, I think that's her, and I think she has
In
like
there.
3 minutes
Three
left.
minutes to go. But the whole idea is we are trying to support and encourage each other, and it can very, very quickly and easily turn, and that resentment can start to build. And what you see as progress, or you see as a hindrance to progress, can become a real wedge and a sticking point in your relationship and in your marriage. And so the idea is, if we're going to do something together, that let's encourage each other. Let's try to enjoy it together. Let's not make it something that is all or none. Either you're with me or you're against me. That's not quite how it should go. Let's try this, and if it works out, great. And if it doesn't work out, then maybe we'll try again, is the attitude to try to have towards it, because you are better together and things are easier when you are doing it together. But sometimes it just might not be time just yet. So being patient, praying about it, trusting, supporting, and loving is really the key to any journey that you're going to be on with your spouse.
So, see, say I reward myself with food, which totally defeats purpose. It just depends on how much food, Steve, right?
Yeah, it depends
Because
on
sometimes,
smaller portions.
the whole, however we get to where we get, it's an accumulation of choices
Yes.
over the course of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the choice to go to Five Guys is not going to totally kill us, right? So
Right.
every now and then you'll find us up in Five Guys.
You will.
Right.
But,
So-
and I think I'm glad you mentioned that, and we're talking about portions, and we could talk about diet all day. But when when we were giving out candy, and our neighbor came over and dumped her candy in there, and there was huge Snicker bars and paydays. But I was so excited to just find a S. It was just a little. It wasn't even a fun
Snicker
size
piece.
Snickers.
Yeah.
It was a piece of a Snickers about this big. Oh wait, that big. And it was just the S. And I was like, see, that's exactly what I need.
Mm-hmm.
I just need the S on the Snickers. And that way you still get to cheat a little bit, but it's not the whole giant size shareable Snickers. And then you don't share both of them, right? So
So-
he said, for me, it's an accumulation of
right.
buffalo wings.
But excuse me. And so,
Yes.
and a lot of times, we give each other permission to kind of remind us of whatever the commitment is we made, and sometimes just like, leave me alone. Mind your
Often.
business.
Often.
But
Yes.
but like, so the two of us and the two of you being one and being on the same accord,
Yes.
it doesn't mean it's gonna land in the same spot exactly every time. I think that it's about like leaning and moving in the same direction and helping each other to do that.
Yes.
And when Wendy, like, when she reminds me of some commitment I made, like dealing with that initial response,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because my initial response would be like, whatever, defense, defense, right?
That's both of us.
Yeah.
Cause and Mike is really good about it, because he'll say, "Are you sure?" you want to eat that? And I'm like, yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I am.
Freeze.
I'll deal with it later. Oh, and okay, I love that. I love that. Anna is replying to Steven. So we kind of, we started out talking about matching each other's energies and being on this journey together, and two becoming one, and really. I know you put up the scripture on that, right? This whole idea that when you come together as husband and wife, that you're on this journey, the marriage journey, this life journey together. And there are things that both of you bring to it that make it so much better, sweeter, and easier. And so when you can keep it keep it cool, when you can keep it so that you're not escalating, and you're not checking out, and you're not becoming resentful, and you're not working against each other, then your marriage will be so much happier and healthier. And I think that's the goal that we all have. Yes.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna say this, y'all. Um, so in Genesis, in Matthew, and in Mark,
Mm-hmm.
you hear this refrain. Um, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. That idea is repeated over and over again. And so the idea of being one flesh, right? This idea of being together, some things just kind of happen. Like we are talking about how our skin tone is just kind of averaged out. Just still crazy to me. But there are other things that require a bit more intention.
Yeah.
Right? To be spiritually on the same sheet requires that you pray together, requires that you read the word, discuss what it means, and discuss what it means in your life and in your family, your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of dieting or exercising, those things that either we decide to do or that we're compelled to do because the numbers aren't looking great.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and this might be controversial. However, if your spouse is making a change for those reasons, and it's a good change and it's going to be helpful, then I think we got to deal with our flesh. We got to deal with our selfishness and actually join them in that. Right? I remember when Winnie was pregnant with Sydney, our first daughter, I was a model citizen. Not drinking, I'm eating what you eat. I'm cleaning my whole life up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then our second child comes along, and I might have been going to drink a beer or something. When he was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna make that adjustment. You're not gonna quit. You're not gonna stop this time." And I'm like, "Oh, you look you look for first baby treatment, right?" So that was not received well, but it was the premise, and I was halfway joking, right?
Yeah.
But the premise was it was selfish, right? It's like what you have to do is a little bit uncomfortable for me. I don't want to do it. There's something that I enjoy that I won't be able to do, so I'm really struggling whether I'm going to do that or not. So in effect, I'm willing to go ahead and stick you out on that island. You just, hey, this is your cross to bear, not mine.
Right.
And I'm gonna do my thing, right? I think a lot of times we'll do that.
Yeah.
Right. And we do it over things that I don't believe are equal in value to your spouse. Right. And you may think that's a little bit of an extreme statement, but it's like, no, I want my ribs. You gonna pound kick rocks. You eat your veggies. I'm eating these ribs. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's an indicator of how selfish we actually are.
Yeah.
So
it's challenging. It is really challenging, and that's why I chose Journey for a reason, because it's not, none of us really has the capability. I mean, some people can, but to just wake up, snap your fingers, and life change, right? Behavior change. And so, Stephen, I like what you wrote there as it pertains to marriage. Sympathy should manifest in changed behavior.
Come on, man.
I think that is probably it is so appropriate for what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of, you know, am I willing to change for you, right? Because when you when you get married, people have said it for years, don't expect your spouse to change. The person that you married is the person that you will have. If you're thinking about it that way, that's good, knowing that the person that you married is going to change. But don't have an expectation that I'm going to marry you and accept you the way that you are, but I'm hoping that you change. Because that's not fair, right? And so as we grow and change and age and different seasons occur, like I was saying to Mike, it shouldn't be that when a woman has a baby, like she gives birth and then the husband looks like he's had 8 hours of sleep, it got a fresh haircut, and is like full of energy, right?
Yeah.
We should look like we're going through together.
That's funny.
You should be able to tell where we are by how we look in that instance, right? And so as you consider all these things, I just would like to encourage you to consider where you both are, where you both want to be. And you said it earlier, as long as you're moving in the same direction, then celebrate that, right? Sometimes I think we get so caught up on how we're not winning that we miss how we are. Yep. And so I want you to think about how you're winning. I want you to think about the journey that you're currently on. I want you to think about what it looks like when we are together and how beautiful that thing can be.
Right on, baby. I'm hungry. So, as all this talk about food has got me. We're going to pray, y'all. Get up out of here. Heavenly Father, we come tonight just thanking you for being God. Thanking you for how you bless us, God. Thank you for sending your son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins and to show us what real love looks like, God. We ask that our marriages reflect that type of love. We ask that you bless every family here, every couple represented, God. We be sure to give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. We thank you. We love you. Pray these and all blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So there's one more thing I forgot. So if you are starting on an exercise journey together and start off slow, right, understanding each other's capability, but I had read about this thing called a fart walk. And I thought that was like the best thing ever. So after you eat together, to just go for a walk together. It doesn't have to be a long walk, but it's a fart walk. So you walk together and you just let it go while you're outside. There's nothing healthier and nothing better than just having that time to just be yourselves and to be free. So I encourage you to go for a heart walk. You can call it a heart walk, but y'all know what you heard it here.
And some of them are like, this is news. You know who you are. All right, y'all.
All right. Y'all, until next week, have a blessed week.
Bye now.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's your boy, JC. I'm in the mood. Love. Yeah. Lately, I've been constantly thinking about you, babe. You drive me crazy, yeah. And girl, I want this. Got me all up in my feelings. Oh, what a feeling, yeah. I knew the first time I laid eyes on you that you would be here forever. I'm not being arrogant, and I still can't take my eyes off you, 'cause you made me better. glad you're mine, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't wanna be with nobody else. Give me your love, that's all the wealth I need. Baby, you're priceless to me, yeah. To love you for a lifetime, I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, yeah. Whoa. Promise I'ma be around, I'ma always hold you down. Won't you come and hold me now? Won't you come and hold me now? I just got a new coupe, yeah, I know I got a roof, but I always keep it down with you, yeah. And I know they see it. Girl, you're my queen, and your beauty speaks for itself loud and clear, yeah. So throw it in the air. It's the sweetest sound to follow my ear. And I want the world to know I love you forever. And that's a long time, babe. But I got time for you,